and welcome to the third ATD Central Pennsylvania Chapter Chat. We're so excited to see you again, and this month we're highlighting our fabulous programming committee. So I'd like to have the honor of introducing you to both Zach Dornish and Jonathan Brown on our programming committee. So we'll start with our Vice President of Programs, so I'll turn it over to you. Zach, tell us about yourself and what got you involved in the ATD Central PA chapter.
Thank you, Gina. I actually got involved in the chapter last year. There was actually an event that I attended, and ATD Central PA was there, kind of just talking a little bit about themselves, talking about the membership. And I currently I work in the field of kind of talent development. I am an instructional designer, currently transitioning into a new role, but I've been really wanting to continue to learn about the organization and like about learning and development. Once I heard about ATD, I thought that it would be a really great opportunity to work with others kind of in the field and in the industry and really try to stay relevant after kind of my education. So that was really why I joined. And then I knew that being part of the programs committee would be a way for me to meet others, especially in the industry, and kind of really further grow and develop my own skills. And then within the year, I kind of got elected to this role of VP of programs. So we've been doing a lot to kind of move that forward and add value, which we'll talk about a little bit more later. But that's really how I got involved with ATD.
So let's hear from you, Jonathan.
Sure, it's a pleasure to be with you today. I also just got involved with ATD during the 2024 calendar year, and I was really excited. I had been thinking about becoming a member for way too long, and finally in 2024, I pulled that trigger and jumped in. Hit that click that membership button, and there I was. And I immediately did want to get involved and chose the programming committee due to some of my past experiences with other professional organizations and helping out in the programming area. I've really enjoyed it and have continued with that since joining last year. My background is been both in the private sector, in actually the hospitality industry, and where in both cases I had a previous arena, and now I'm back in that arena again, where I'm responsible for the professional development of my team. And in many cases, I need to create and lead those training things. So I find ATD to be just a really powerful way for me to keep those skills going.
Great. Thanks. I know I've enjoyed getting to know you better over the last year or so too. So let's start with a few questions around programming. I'd love to get your thoughts and help our members understand what's going on and what to expect this year. So I guess first I want to start with, how do you determine what types of events and learning opportunities will be most valuable for our members?
Yeah, so I can kind of start with that question. So there's a survey that goes out. So some of you might remember having done a survey in December. So that was a big part, and that's really kind of what we look at when we're planning events and like when events can be held and what is the most ideal and where the locations are and things like that. That's a part of that. And then the other thing is actually something that Jonathan and I just finished doing is we kind of did a brainstorm of events that we would think would be valuable based on kind of some of that feedback, and really kind of trends that are happening in the industry. And, being that we're also learning and development professionals or talent development professionals, we were looking at ways that we could add value and some things that we would find valuable ourselves. So that was really where we kind of went in brainstorming all of those kind of ideas. The other thing that we do is at the end of every event, we provide surveys to kind of collect feedback, to really evaluate what the experience was for the members. So, if something is really liked and popular, then we know we can continue to do something like that. And if it's not, then we move into a different direction. And that was really what's helped us to kind of look at everything we're providing.
Yeah, the only thing that I would add, Zach, is that I also say that we really view programming as dynamic. And so we know we need to have a plan. We've got to sort of carve out and frame out the whole year. But we continue to remain open, both from that ongoing feedback that's coming in that you just spoke about, as well as our own experiences with trends. If we see some things emerging and we can fit it in, we see it as dynamic, and we may later on in the year or early in the next years try to get those things in. So we see it as constantly evolving.
Great. Well, based on that information and the information you captured, looking at 2025 here, what are some key themes or topics of the programming committee that you're focusing on for this year's events?
So we have a number of high-level things that we're looking to do. We are excited with some of the ways that we want to bring trainings. We're looking at right now an event where we will be able to do it all virtual, which allows all of our members to work together to be able to attend in an all virtual, but still have subgroups and in workshops and come together in that way, and then return to the full group. We're also looking at a vibrant panel discussion later on this summer, early in the summer, I should say. That's a pretty exciting time. A fall networking event that is something that we think is good after the summertime, as people are sort of regenerating for the fall, to bring everybody that we can together. And we're going to have an educational component to that as well. With some collaborative problem solving is right now what we're exploring, with some scenarios that L&D folks have. So those are some of the key themes and topics, and we're also laying out there the possibility of some AI things along the way. So we're working some great ideas.
Yeah, so thanks, Jonathan. So what, everything that we're looking to plan is looking to add values, and we're exploring a little bit with kind of some virtual opportunities. So we have, the regional webinar series. That's something that we're continue to work through. So that's kind of a key theme. We're going to continue to work with the other chapters in our region and bring in speakers. But in addition to the virtual events that are with the regional series, we're also looking at some virtual events for our chapter. And that's to be kind of mindful of weather. So like we're also looking for maybe a hybrid event where we have virtual and in-person opportunities to really cover the whole chapter, because I'm sure, as many of you might know, we have a very large chapter. And to travel, point to point, it's like over 4 hours. So it might not be feasible for everyone to travel that whole time. So we're looking at options for that. And then we're also looking to work with like learning and development organizations in our chapter. So some of the organizations that are doing things with their corporations, or we have an event that we're working on at the end of April, beginning of May, with Bloomsburg University, who has an instructional design program, and they have students that are coming in that are starting into the industry. So we're looking at really connecting those. So I think that the key that you'll see, the key theme for the year, is really trying to add value and connecting our chapter.
Great. Awesome. Thank you. And if this is repetitive, we can move past this, but I was wondering if you can share any exciting new formats or innovations that we're introducing to our programs this year. Not sure if there's anything new to add or if it was covered in the last question.
Probably a little bit with the hybrid and the in-person, but we can go into that a little bit more. So, I mentioned the chapter being really large and the travel that it takes. So we've had the virtual webinar series, and that's been really popular. It's easy for people to just hop on at the end of the day. So we're looking at doing that possibly a little bit more with our own events, as well as, like I mentioned, the hybrid event. So a big piece of the hybrid event is, finding the right area where we can kind of adapt to have like the cameras and things that are needed to have people both in person and virtual. So, if anyone has ideas or locations that we can use for that, that's great. I'll throw that out there right now. But that's a big thing that we really want to kind of utilize to open these up for everyone that with their busy lives, that they can still kind of participate in these events. obviously our in-person event. We did a networking event, which really went over really well last fall. And we're looking to do something with that again, but a little bit more, like Jonathan mentioned, brain teasery and like thinking and working in groups. And I think that that's going to be a really great event once we kind of have that planned. And it's going to be a format that's probably a little bit different from anything we've done in the last 2 years that I know of.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun, and fall's my favorite time of year, so that's not about
Yeah.
me. Okay, what advice would you give to our members out there who want to get the most out of ATD's Central PA's events? How can they get the most out of them?
So I think the best way to get the most out is, get involved, sign up for the events that we have. The nice thing about what we're trying to do is we're trying to do a lot of events that are as cheap as possible for the members. So whether it's free registration for our members because you're already paying your annual fee, or at the minimum that we can cover just for cover the expenses that we have for the event. So we're trying to offer that like literally the lowest possible thing. So the other thing that we're trying to do is keeping those events on the calendar so you can see what's coming up. So if you look at the calendar now, we have all of the webinars and who they're supposed to be hosted by for the year up there. We have kind of the costs associated with some of those events up there. So just keeping an eye out for that. And then the other thing is obviously trying to get involved because getting involved with the organization obviously is going to give you the most value. You're going to get the most connections. You're going to get to be able to help decide what events we do and kind of drive the future of the organization.
Absolutely. And I'll just jump in and add to what Zach's saying is I really encourage to get the most out of your membership and out of the multitude of events is go to as many as you can. I think sometimes we really filter the events by like, well, that's not a topic I'm interested in, or that's not something that where I work, I'm doing any of that. I have to say that by being more curious and sort of approaching the topics from a more curious perspective and going to things that I'm not currently doing, it has opened my eyes up to things I could be doing that I never imagined, and it helps make connections. So I think the other thing that I would add is just go to as many events as can fit onto your calendar, that you can make fit onto your calendar, because you will be amazed at the people you meet, the resources and tools, and just the information that you share, how it actually does connect, if not today, in the coming months, about the things that are evolving at your own place of work.
That's great. That's a great perspective. And I'm just going to throw something out there. What if I'm, newer, or maybe I've been a member a long time and I just haven't been to an event and I don't really know anybody.
First off, I'm gonna say to you don't know many people, and maybe even an added layer to that is you see yourself as more introverted. What I'm gonna say is that I have been amazed since I joined in 2024 at how welcoming people have been, even in a virtual event where you can, it's more you're getting the sense of it, but it's a very welcoming group. At the same time, not forcing you to necessarily go beyond what you may be comfortable with. But I really encourage you to go to something that you can physically get to, that's live, and just challenge yourself to talk to 2 or 3 people in a deep enough way that you kind of go away knowing them, maybe having their business card, that sort of thing. And the virtual events as well is to engage. If they use the chat to engage, whatever it is, and just engage. And I really think that that's where I would start. Is that you're going to find, even if you don't know people, that it's a very welcoming chapter.
Yeah, I would say definitely, don't be afraid. I have found that everyone has been super welcoming. The other thing is, if you have a friend that's in talent development, maybe grab them and ask them to come along with you as well. I know that I've gone to a couple events and I've asked friends to go. Some of our events, we actually allow people to register a guest either for free or at a discounted rate. So, you know, that's something also to look at, is maybe if you don't want to come by yourself and you know someone else in the industry, you know, reach out to them and see if they can go with you. And if you're really kind of nervous, reach out to someone on our team, and we're happy to kind of like introduce you or to talk to you a little bit to help you feel a little bit more at ease to come to an event.
Yeah, thanks. I just really, I relate to that. I understand how people might feel. So I would just, you guys covered it well. Look for any of our faces that you've seen on these today and the other chapter chats. And we were all there and we will all welcome you with open arms. Awesome. Thanks so much. I don't know if you guys had anything else to add before we wrap up.
The
I
only
think the
thing,
last thing, oh, go ahead, Jonathan.
no,
Let
you
go.
go ahead, Zach. You're probably thinking the same thing I am. So you go ahead.
The only thing I was going to add is if you're interested in getting involved with our group, reach out to any of us. You can reach us on LinkedIn. You can email us. You can go to the Central PA ATD website. You can email us at admin@centralpatd.org. We'll put the address in the link on this video. But if you want to get involved, it's the best way to really help us plan these programs. We have some new kind of positions that we're also adding to this team that we're working on doing that. So that's going to be really cool. It gives you a little something to put on your resume, you know, to really mention how you've been adding value to a nonprofit organization. So
thank you so much for sharing, Zach and Jonathan. We appreciate your time today. And to our members, thanks for watching our third chapter chat. And we hope to see you at an event soon. Have a good day.
thank you.
Thank you.